Is that better for you? That's better, isn't it? Surely. What a day. You've just done it. Oh, okay, it's just on a shit. But anyway, what a day. What a fucking day. Now. Is that better for you? Oh, surely. There you go. So, I don't know where to start, man. I don't know where to start. All I know is, right, at the end of the day, it gets dark. Ultimately, it gets dark. Let me just rub this off here. What's going on here? Yeah. There you go. Right. So yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? That's a bit better. So look, I've had a bit of a fucking day of it, and I hope you've all had a day of it too. I know some of you have, and I know some of you have had a really good day, but some of you have had a bit of a challenging day. And for me, I've got like 20 minutes, half hour, because I've got so much to do still, that I wanted to come on and celebrate, and just celebrate some of the hints and tips on how to get through the festive period without your children, as recommended by the professionals. The professionals being the solicitors, the social workers, CAFCAS, all of them, all of the above. So the main people who generally prevent contact going forward, and how do you put it? For contact going forward and supporting the alienation that goes on covertly by the ex-partners, whether they be male or female, the residing people who live at home with the kids. They are the ones who stop this from happening, and they're the ones who give us the same advice on how to make sure we can cope, which I thought was hilarious. So I wanted to share that with you all. There you go. I just won't find the website. I had it earlier, but then I've looked elsewhere. There we are. Do you know what? I'm going to do it on here. It's not there. It is. There we are. Put it over this way here. So right. So let's look at how we can get through Christmas in the eyes of the professional. How to get through Christmas. Mr. Evan, I tried calling several times, being ignored. 7 messages, no response. Don't know if you've been ignoring yet. Very busy. Who is that? I can't see who it is, so feel free to message me again and continue to try. If it means 10 minutes on the phone or an hour on the phone, then that's not happening at the moment because I've got too much paperwork to do. But that's a side conversation. But we can please continue to try and get hold of me. And if I'm available, then I can obviously try and help. Right now, though, it's not thinking about that sort of work stuff, because we're thinking about stuff that's going to put me back in the right zone to make sure that we can get through Christmas in the eyes of a professional. So let's look at this family law solicitor service, and we look at. Let's have a look here. Let's take that off there. Okay. Getting through the festive period without your children. Relationship breakdown is very difficult for anyone. Relationships like to be very difficult and confusing. At Beep Group, we are very concerned for the welfare of your children and your home and how much money you will have as a result of your separation. We would like at least half of it. We will provide you with expert legal advice, and you will not only choose the right process, but also achieve the best outcome for you and your family. Mac, and not an hour on the phone, 5 minutes professionals. Okay, fine. Look. Let me finish this live, and then give me a call. Let me finish this. I'm going to finish it in half an hour, then give me a call. Send me a text message now, so I've got your number. Send me a text message now. This is why you should choose this group. Right? We are qualified and experienced, and they're specialists in the area of this law. They have offices throughout the region, and it's easy for you to contact them. They will answer the phone for you at 2 o'clock in the morning. They will do everything for you to make sure that you get what you want. They will raise conflict for you when there is no conflict. Cool, man. And that's one thing that's happening a lot more recently. That's one thing that's happening a hell of a lot more recently. people are getting. I'm coming into people, and they're separating beautifully, as well as you can do for a separation. And literally, these solicitors who are getting legal aid or whatever, or they're getting paid, whatever the case might be, they are causing conflict. They literally are causing the hugest amount of conflict when there is no conflict. I've got your message. I've got your message. So yeah. So there is no conflict, and then they're trying to make conflict, and it's like, wow, where did that come from? Where on earth did that come from? Why on earth has that happened? And why are we trying to create conflict when there is no conflict? I'm dazzled by it all, bedazzled, I tell you. And the thing is, as well, what's more frustrating about that? What's more frustrating is what's more frustrating about that is they're servants of the courts. So the courts are like the courts want, and as far as I'm concerned, I can still see it come through. Don't worry. The courts, as far as I'm concerned, the courts want children, parents, to settle things outside of court, resolve things their own way outside of court, and do things as amicably and in the best interest of the children when it's safe to do so. I'm fortunate enough to have been able to work with people who are their relationships are still in as much of a tact as it could be until you get to a certain stage of the events where what happens? Lo and behold, shock horror. They cause conflict. They cause conflict that's unnecessary. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? We offer free advice surgeries, and you get access to legal advice with no appointment necessary. We will tell you exactly how to alienate your parents, alienate your other ex-partner. That's what we will do. And we can assist you in applying for legal aid where available, because we will tell you exactly what to say to make sure you qualify. That's that company. That's that one. And let's look at what they talk about the children. At Beep Solicitors, we advise on child law issues. If your marriage or relationship has broken down, we can help you make arrangements regarding your children. We can provide you with the advice that you need to apply to court. We can help you reach a decision on issues such as who the child should live with, who has contact. Well, whoever's going to come to you, whoever's going to come to this surgery. I'm going to come to you. Who's going to have contact? Well, it's clearly who's going to have contact. Whoever's going to come to you, because you'll tell them exactly what they need to say, to make sure they get their non-molestation order, or to make sure that they can exaggerate or fabricate any situation or scenario. What can you do? What can you do as a person receiving that, especially when it's coming on from the professionals as well, like Kafkas. So, how many times do we hear it, and how many times do we try and I've been there, so I'll talk about myself. Like I'm looking at my ex-wife's whoever knows my ex-wife, her family law firm that she used, and I'm taking the information from there. So it's like when I was going through this shit, I was reacting to all the nastiness. Yeah, you got you on my TV, awesome. Fair enough. When I was going through it all, I was reacting to the "fuck you Friday" emails that we were getting. On a Friday afternoon, you'd get the "fuck you Friday" where you get your email with some sort of shit on there that you're going to be like, it's going to ruin your weekend and ruin your whole day and night and weekend. And it's a weekend when you've got your daughter or whatever as well. And they would send it, and I'd react, and I would react in the wrong way, and I'd react how we impulsively react, and how you'd normally react when you're being basically made out to being like they're gaslighting you. That's what they do. The solicitors, they're gaslighting you. They're bullies. Yeah, they're just as much of a bully as what the fucking your ex, if your ex is harassing you or abusing you emotionally or psychologically. The solicitors will just literally join in on that, and they will create a bit. They will create more. And all you can do is not react the way you want to react, because if you fall into the trap of let's put it like this: everything is psychology, I think. Yeah. So we all fall into certain categories. We all fall into colors almost, but sometimes people do it in colors, people do it in numbers, but we all fall into certain categories. So they know, if they're really good at psychology, they will know if they do this one thing to someone who's a certain color, that person likelihood is going to react or respond in a certain way to that incident. So because that happens, people within this sector will assess people's psychology, make good assumptions as to what colours they are or what they are and what category they fall into, and then they will respond, or they will do things knowing that you're going to respond a certain way because you're that way inclined. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong, doesn't mean that you're bad, it just means that that's how you cut. Same as in the same way as they don't see that parental alienation is abusive to some people, because they see that's the child is getting the basic needs met and they're fed and watered and whatever else, and they refuse to they refuse to acknowledge what is being seen and what's being said and what's happening. And then again, 10 years down the line, my situation, when I've taken a massive step back and said, you know what, fuck it, I can't argue with you. I can't argue with the system. I can't, you're making the system was making me go crazy. The system was like literally doing my nutting. And I was like, no, I'm not playing that game. All I could do was sit on the side and wait for the time to come when I have to do what I need to do. And that time come this year when shit hit the fan with my daughter, and she's old enough and, you know, brave enough to do what she's doing and take on the things that she's taking on. But that's our situation. And I'm lucky enough to have my daughter who knows me as a dad, and then our relationship can withstand what's happened and what's happened and happening. Yeah, because that's just how fortunate I am. There's people who I'm supporting or trying to support or know of that are going through this, and the kids are like much younger. And when I was going through what you're going through, there's nothing more scary, because these are the most important years. These are the years that you've got to influence your children. These are the years you've got to bond. And these early years are what it's all about. And this time that you treasure, that you want to do as a dad, that you want, like some of us, for me, my dad was, no secret, my dad was shit. Yeah. But ultimately, when I was a dad, I wanted to be everything that he wasn't. And I think to a certain degree, I have done that, and I've made mistakes along the way. I've made errors along the way, you know, lessons. But ultimately, I'm not. Who doesn't? Who does not as a parent? Who does not as a parent, like, make mistakes or lessons along the way? I kid you not. This is what makes me laugh about these mums that all these dads. I've got a couple of dads as well. All these dads that are, all mums that are taking the moral high ground and taking the righteous the ground where they've never made a mistake in their life with a parenting decision in their life. And it's like, okay, you've never made a mistake in your life. You literally pick out every single thing that he's done wrong or she's done wrong, and there's things they've done wrong, and they accept them. They accept and take responsibility for them. They live their lives, and they live with their selves. And this is the thing: people, you need to pay. You need to pay. Why? Do you not think these people are paying for themselves, and they've got to live in their heads already? Do you not think they have to deal with that? If they're good enough people, this is my theory, right? If they're good enough people, and this is why I'm less stressed now, because I'm talking about stuff that I need to get off my chest, so I'm less stressed. You can hear the less of a stressedness in my voice. So when these people are coming back into the lives of their children, or trying to maintain the lives of their children, and they've made mistakes too in their relationship, the people who would say that they've never made a mistake, and they want to put the blame on the person who's coming back and trying to be a bigger person and trying to say and take responsibility and do what they can do to say, you know what, I fucked up. These people who don't let them take responsibility and want to like condemn them and make them feel like they're scum of the earth. I hope one day that you never have to be in that same situation, because it's not nice, and it's not fair on the kids, and it's not teaching, and all you're doing is teaching the kids how to hate. And then you wonder why. And then you wonder why, when there's kids looting the shops and there's kids that've got no patience and they don't give a fuck, they're just doing what they want. You wonder why the kids behave that way. Because they see their parents behaving that way. They see the parents, their mums or the dads fucking being angry and throwing their toys at the pan when they're not getting their own way. That isn't what we're teaching our kids, is it? Well, it is. Yes, it is. But that's what they want us to teach our kids, because they want us to teach our kids anger and hate and frustration and all the rest of it. That's what they want to do. And the majority, 93% of the population of the world fall into it. 7%, if you're lucky enough to be part of the 7%, then, and you can see it and you can see what they're doing, and you can rise above it somehow, because it's not easy to rise above. And you can find someone that can see it and they can give you direction. Then you need to make sure that you follow that direction. And and I've been in the situation so many times where I've been the only person in the room saying, yeah, that's what's going to happen. You need to go down that road, because if you go down that road, that's what I think is going to happen. But and I'm cool with being the only person in the room that says that, and I'm cool with being wrong. I'd much rather be wrong with my own ideas and my own thoughts than be wrong following the sheep that go everywhere else. But so many times, more often than not, I've been right, and I've had people come back to me afterwards and say, you know what, you were right. I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you. Makes no odds to me. Makes no odds to me in the slightest. I don't care. I'll get on my day. There's the next person. I can't help everybody, but I can help as many people that want to listen. And if you don't want to listen, that's your choice. You've got to do what's right for your children and your family and yourselves. But then don't come and blame me afterwards. Because I'd say that's what I say to anyone, and especially if you're taking part of advice as well. You're taking part advice of people. If you're taking part advice, then you can't criticize the person you're taking part advice from. Because if you're not going in the full hog, if they say, oh, you need to go do that, and that, and then you say, oh, I'll do this and this, but I won't do that, you can't blame them either, because you didn't do what they said. You didn't say do what they said do. You did what you wanted, which would be why you didn't go the way you wanted it to go, ultimately. But yeah, so the solicitors, how to get through Christmas. You can go and this is one of the plans on one of these people websites. Spend Christmas Day with your ex-partner. Show your children how well you can get on together. That's the solution, isn't it? That's why you're going through family courts, because you can do that. You can actually go on and have some time together and share your Christmas dinner together. That's a really good idea. Why don't we do that? Let's do that. Another suggestion is maybe we can do a parenting plan just for the Christmas period. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, everything like everything the non-residing parent would suggest gets said no, and anything that the residing parent wants has to be abided by. Okay, sure, we can try that one. We can try it though. We can certainly try it. What about this one? One sec. How to get through? No. Lost it. There we go. This is what I wanted. There we go. As by the professionals, I'm not going to say which family law firms these are, but these are on websites and advice from professionals who the very same professionals that will stop you from having contact with your children. They're telling you how to get through. They're telling you how to get through the Christmas period. Establish a time that you can talk to your children. Establish a time. You call in. I've been there. You call in, your call doesn't answer. Why would they fucking answer? They're having Christmas. They're opening the fucking presents. The family around them. They're not paying attention to what you want to do, or they're not getting told to encourage to answer the phone to the person that's not living with them. Remember, they will have a good day with whoever they're with. Please, come on now. That's meant to make me feel better. It should do. If you have got the true interest of your children at heart, it should do. If you really love, this is what I totally believe. If you really, really love your children, if you really love your kids, there will be no conflict. You would even, you know what, I did it. This is what I say. There's nothing Lindsay could do to even involve me or entice me. I will not even entertain it. And it's need to get to a certain point to be able to go there. And that's after you've had so much anger and so you're just getting fed up with fucking arguing, or not arguing, defending, and trying to show that you're right and no one's listening to you, because it's ridiculous. So why waste the energy? I thought, fucking, that's what I did, and that's what I've managed to get through life. But I totally get how people said, 2 or 3 people said, Jason, I don't know how people do it. It's their first Christmas without their kids. And I talk to people every year when it's their first Christmas without their kids. It's my 10th year now, but I've done mine out of choice. I've done mine out of making sure Lila would have a bigger and better day with her mum and a big family on Christmas Day. And then New Year's would be our thing. but that's just a choice that I made, and that doesn't mean it's an easy choice to make again. But that's a sacrifice I made to make sure that I was doing what was right for my daughter. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you could stream. Another thing for men, if you didn't know, men, you can do streaming. You can do stream. There's streaming services available such as Pornhub, Netflix, XXX.com, Mumsnet. So, yeah, so streaming is something you could do, and you could even start your own podcast. Do Kafka's favourite mothers? Do they ever? Never, 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 never. Kafka's are impartial, and they are totally the pinnacle of what the family law system in England and Wales stand by and is built upon, because Kafka's are amazing. I think someone's noticed I'm taking the piss a little bit. No, I'm not taking the piss. They're nice. They're good people. Sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you get bad ones. Okay. This is a good one. Right, the winter holidays are the most wonderful time of the year, unless you're without your kids. It can be grieving for families and friends, but no longer with us. Or a single, hopeless romantic, or even spending time without your children can be sad. So here's what you can do. Take a break. Come to an agreement with your co-parent about communication while they're away. Please, my life. Make it sound so easy. So easy. So easy. I'm going to go in a minute because I've got to go. Family law. It makes me laugh. These are the same people that stop you from seeing your children, saying, this is what you need to do to see your kids. This is what you need to do. This is what you do. You could suggest an arrangement for alternating the years. Well, yeah, that's what happens in court anyway. So that you get to spend Christmas Day with the children every other year. That's what happens anyway, isn't it? Yes, you have 2 Christmases. You have Christmas Day. So this is very basic stuff. This is mind-boggling. Someone that's been paid loads of money to write that, and they're solicitors. Focus your things on that you enjoy doing. This is what we say. Focus on things. This is a good one. Do things that you enjoy doing. Go and help other people that are worse off than you. Feed the homeless. You'll always see me out on Christmas Day feeding homeless people. Connect with others virtually. Remember, you don't have to celebrate. Now, if you look around here, there is nothing remotely festive, because it's fucking not Christmas in my world, because it might be snowing outside, but it's fucking not snowing inside here. Stay off social media. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but volunteer. That's it. Go for a long walk and stay away from water and cliffs and anywhere that you might be able to hang. Write your list of goals for 2023. You could buy a meaningful ornament, and that could sum up your year of how much you've missed your children. You could buy a chocolate teapot and watch it melt. You could watch some Christmas movies without your children and be really miserable and cry a lot. You could get drunk and be merry. Go carol singing. Do not get drunk and call your ex. And do not get back with your ex-partner. All I was saying to someone the other day, all I know is how to separate. My parents separated. Everyone that I know is separated. So I'm going to go in a minute. Everyone I know is gone, separated. So I'm single. Fine. I'm happy with that. But do not ever go back to your ex again, thinking that everything's going to be forgotten. I kid you not, it doesn't work. I've been there with someone. So it doesn't work. If you're going back with your ex, they've got an ulterior motive. That's what they've got. They've got an ulterior motive, and they're just literally buying their time. They either skint, they need some money, or they're building their case even more against you. That's what I believe. That's what I've seen, and that's what I'm sticking by. Anyway, as you all know, I only do these things to make myself feel better. And I was getting a bit highly strung earlier with everything that was going on. So I've had a good release, taking the mickey out of multiple websites of family law firms, solicitors that tell us how to get through Christmas without our children, after making sure that we don't see our children. I think that's quite ironic myself, but there you go. It's just my viewpoints. Thanks for watching. I've got loads to do. If you are trying to get hold of me, and I'm really sorry that you can't, leave your voice notes if it's easier, so I can get back to the voice notes whenever I can. I've got about this week's crazy. It goes fine after this week, and then goes into next week, and then there's a few days next week is a bit mental. Even as far as Christmas Eve actually, but then the weekend it's free, and then Monday is good as well. So look, peace and love, everybody. Try not to let the fuckers get you down, because they will keep going on at you. They will keep hounding you and making you feel like you have to snap until you get to the point where you do snap. Don't snap. Don't snap. Do what makes you happy. Talk to yourself on a microphone. Talk to whoever will listen on social media. Don't worry about what they have to say. Don't worry about their opinions. Because as long as you're not being nasty to them or being rude to them or bringing peace to everybody and bringing love and wishing happiness and all, what else can you do? What else can you do? What else can you do? Lila, peace and love. Lila's glove. There we are. There we are. There we are. Lila likes that bit. There we are. Peace and love. Lila's glove. And at the end of the day, it does get dark, and you'll get through this. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. That's one thing I know for sure. One thing I know for sure. If it's not okay, it's not the end. So never think it's the end when it's not. Even when it gets to the end, it's not the end.